Hello, my name is Jack Wolf. Welcome to my channel, Impressions. Today, what I want to talk to us about is asking questions. So, Paul Harris was a Harvard child psychologist and an author. And one of the things that he showed is that children ask between ages 2 and 5, it's like 40,000 questions. 40,000 questions between ages 2 and 5. So, if you have some kids that age, I'm sure you probably go, yep, that's the case. But there's a shift that happens in their questions, and they shift from, I just don't want to know the facts, but I want an explanation of this. So somewhere between the ages of 4 and 5, kids are perfectly wired to ask all these questions. They have language, they've got the skills, their brains are expanding, there's high connectivity. They're like major explorers, right? And kids, they want to get to the bottom of things. They want to understand how things work and why things are the way that they are. So, you know what? Kids are like the R&D in the human race, research and development. They're into things they want to know, they want to understand, and they're curious. And so preschool children ask parents about 100 questions a day. But here's what's really interesting. The older kids get, the questions really begin to drop off. And by the time the child is 18 years old, they're not asking hardly any questions at all. And one of the reasons why is because, we're into standardized testing. We want people to understand what the answer that we're actually looking for. And once we start down that path, we stop asking lots of questions. And I don't know if that's really right. I don't know if we really need that. You know what? Why do we lose our curiosity? Is it because we're getting older? Actually, no. Our brains can continue to be stimulated and ask questions and wonder about things. Let's face it, all the great inventions that we have happened because someone began to ask the questions, why can't it be like this? But what about spirituality as well? In spirituality, we sometimes go to a discipleship class or we go to a Bible study, and sometimes we're not really asking questions as being conditioned like, here's the answer I'm really looking for. So here's kind of my impression, what I think about it, and what a takeaway might actually be for all of us. Reading the Bible, Jesus asked questions. He asked questions all the time. There were hundreds of questions he asked. How about asking a blind man, what do you want me to do for you? I mean, isn't it obvious what you want? Why did he ask the question? Or how about the question, who do people say that I am? Why didn't he just say, here's who I am, tell people this? Or how about when he was in a crowd of people and some woman touched him and he asked the question, who touched me? I mean, questions are really a great part of our life. They make our community better. In fact, I think in the Bible, it says, keep on asking, keep on seeking, keep on knocking. To me, there's an implication of, I'm going to keep asking, I'm going to keep seeking, I'm going to keep knocking. I'm not just going to, take the answer that I see, but I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. How about the verse that kind of reminds us, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived, all the great things that God has planned for us. It seems like there's kind of an implication there to dig a little deeper, to be curious and ask questions about things. God's made this beautiful universe, and He doesn't mind us asking a few questions, digging a little deeper. It makes our life a lot more fun, a lot more enjoyable in the people around us. And I know sometimes we've been conditioned like, hey, stop asking those questions. Some of us as parents, we've been annoyed when, why, Daddy, why, Daddy, why, Daddy? And we go, just because I said so. But we're not really learning with that kind of answer. And I get it. Yeah, we need to know answers, but we need to be curious. We need to be inquisitive. We need to ask questions because it makes all of us better people. Keep on asking, keep on seeking, keep on knocking. Just a real funny story, and then I'll end it for today. My kids growing up, one of the questions that I used to ask all the time, I still ask it today. Has anybody seen my car keys? Yeah, because I'm that guy that in all of my years of driving, I'm 62, I really never put my keys in the same place every time. And I would try to, but I really wouldn't. And so when we get ready to go somewhere, I would ask that question, and the search was on. Can I tell you something? Sometimes I've looked in the refrigerator for my keys, and they weren't there, but guess what? I found something else I really wasn't looking for, but I really did enjoy it. It's just interesting when we begin to have to seek after something and look after something. And I'll confess to you, I've locked my keys in my car at least 6 times. But guess what? The last 2 times I locked my keys in the car, I figured out a way to get in myself. And here's how I learned that. I watched the guys that got in my truck that I had to pay for to get my keys out. And I decided, you know what? I wonder if I can do it myself. And I opened up the garage door and I began to look and wonder what kind of tool could I use to break in my truck. And I'll never forget one of the nights my wife came out in the garage and said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm trying to break in the truck." She just kind of shook her head and went back inside and made dinner. And I got in. And you know what? A few months later, I did the same thing again, but I got in a lot faster. Because I asked the question, wonder what I can do with this. Now, that's not the way you want to learn, but guess what? I became creative, and I made things that I didn't think I could really make to solve a problem I really didn't think I could solve. You know what? God wants us to be curious. He wants us to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask why. Don't be afraid to really dig in a little bit deeper and become curious. Just because you're getting older, that doesn't take your creativity away. It doesn't mean you don't have something valuable to ask, because it can make all the difference in the world, and I think make living a lot more fun. I'm going to let you go. I got to go find my keys. Have a great day. God bless. We'll see you next time.